What's going on, everybody? Hey, man, we are excited to have you guys here today, man. It's going to be a great video going on. And, before we get started, I just got to introduce my partners in crime, my fellow DSA members. First on the lot, we have JMO313, JMO, Heart of the City. What's going on, brother?
What's good, man? What's good? What's up to all my Lions fans out there? How y'all doing, man? We do this show every week for you guys. We have a lot to talk about. I'm excited. Make sure you like that video.
Absolutely. And the other side of the panel right now is the man, the myth, the legend, Luke G. What's going on, Luke G?
Man, listen, energy's up. It's game time, baby. When we come on, it's game time. You should have face paint on. You should have on your favorite Lions jersey. And you should be sitting up here with your favorite drink. In my case, it's lemonade. Man, let's do this. Let's have some fun.
Yes, sir. And before you guys say anything, I just want to put this out there. Listen, we planned on having Dose of Dion 2.0 on here. Don't be saying this is some clickbait crap because that's not what we planned. All right, this was a last-minute cancellation, but we got the DSA here. We're hyped no matter what. So before we get started, I just want to say hey to everybody in the chat. Peace and quiet. What's up, bro? D Williams, what's going on? Kool-Aid and Cornbread, and you can call me Funk, man. You guys are awesome here right at the beginning. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Now keep in mind, Dion said he still may come on. He said he still may come on. He may be late, but hey, it is what it is. People have lives, man, and we got to make this thing work. Now, let me do this quick plug because here at the Detroit Sports Alliance, guess what we do? We do not shy away from promoting or supporting anything positive or anyone doing positive things, especially when it pertains to the Lions. And while we know that you guys are all here and we are excited, we also want to tell you that former Detroit Lions safety Glover Quinn is supposed to go live at 8 p.m. with Jeff Okudah. Now, it don't look like they started just yet, but he is supposed to go live. When you go over there, all you do is say, DSA, Luke G, the real Detroit Lions fan, 313, J-Mo sent us. That's all we want y'all to say. And subscribe. That's it. Subscribe, and that's it. And just and do it. Because that's probably going to be an interview that I'm going to have to do a field review on and see what's popping. So just giving you the heads up, he will be talking to Detroit Lions third overall pick, Jeff Okudah, today. And it has not started yet. Just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely. That's something that I'm going to check out myself. I would be checking it out if I wasn't on here right now. Not going to lie to you guys. But we got to rock with you guys. We love you guys. And, we're happy to be here. So definitely support them and then, rock with us afterwards. But we're going to get right into it. So our first topic of the day is, okay, so the NFL has released some new rule change proposals. And one of the most interesting things to come out of that is an alternative to the onside kick. And this would allow a team a chance to maintain possession by going for it on 4th and 15 from their own 25-yard line. And, that's out of control. That's crazy. That really changes the dynamic of the game and whether you choose to, go for it or not at the end of the game when you're down. And it sounds like it's getting support from around the league and the idea is growing. So I wanted to get your guys' opinion. So, J-Mo, what do you think about this idea?
Wait, so what is the idea specifically? They're going to replace instead of doing an onside kick, you can do what?
You'd be able to, they would put the ball on your own 25-yard line, and you'd have to get 15 yards to get it. And if you don't get it, you give the ball up there.
So essentially what it is.
So basically they give you an extra down?
No. You're getting the extra down. You're getting the extra down, but what they're doing is they adopted the practice of the XFL again. So they took what the XFL was doing, and that's what they're doing. So that's what you're seeing. They adopted the XFL approach to it. So yeah, you get an extra down, but it's a high risk, high reward type thing. You can, instead of going for that onside kick, you can say, hey, I'll take it at that 4th and 15. Because it's hard to get a 4th and 15, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, so that means that you can do that on any play, right? It don't have to just be, or is it a certain amount of times you can do that?
I believe the rule is within the last 2 minutes of the game or the half.
Okay. Because I'm about to say like the whole game. I'm like, that's just like what? But okay, no, I like that. Then I think that I love that a lot, especially for our team because I've seen Stafford convert 4th and 15. So I've seen him convert 3rd and 28. So I mean, I like that a lot, especially for the type of team that we have. But one of them teams that come through in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. Our team could end up winning a lot more games because of that we would lose because we failed an onside kick. Because there's a lot of games we lost because we failed an onside kick. I can think of Green Bay 2016 just for example. So that could be very nice, and it'll give some teams an advantage to come back in football games, and I think it enhanced the excitement of the sport. It's gonna make it much more exciting when a team is on that one of those comebacks, and then they hit that 4th and 15, and you're like, what's about to happen now? So I think it's a nice rule, and I do hope they implement it because the onside kick to me is pointless, and the only time it works is if it's destiny for you to win. Like that's the only thing I can say.
Right. And here, no, it definitely does add that strategic factor as well. And Luke, I'm definitely glad you clarified it because I didn't even know it was only within 2 minutes. But
yeah, so they're gonna try it out in the preseason. So I think the article I read said it's supposed to be within the last 2 minutes of the game or the half. And then if it works great, where it's not a lot of collisions, a team can still opt to take that option. But the problem is, at least from a football perspective, is you would be stupid to take that. I mean, unless you just know you down one score and you need that shot, you would be pretty dumb to take it. In my opinion, because what's going to happen is if you don't get it, they get the ball at your 25.
But you're in a position. You're gonna be in a position where you're gonna lose the game. So that's all you had. I mean, like at the half is one thing, but if you're gonna lose the game because you're down 8 points, you got to take that 4th and 15, or you're gonna give them the ball back and lose. So,
listen, I am picking up what you're putting down. He said, "Look, the digital review says, sorry guys, I have to run this back. GQ about to have a CUDA on live. I'm gonna try to see if I can get some questions answered by our draft pick." Hey, I ain't mad at you. We promoted that. Promoted that. Listen, that hey, Glover Quinn over on his channel at the DB room has our 3rd overall pick, Jeff Okudah, on for an interview. I see he having some technical difficulties. Well, at least that's what somebody sending me a message saying, like he having some technical issues. But he's only at 787 subscribers, and I'm like, he's teaching the game of football, and I love that. So for me, the campaign to get him to 1 million is real. I want him to get 1 million because one, that type of exposure not only gets people to understand his game better, but it also gives the Lion fan base a chance to see and talk to those DBs like he finna do right now. So we support that.
Yeah, just make sure you let them know that Luke G and the DSA sent you over for sure.
Yeah, so that's it. So, but to me, the thing about that rule is this: if I'm a team, I'm not kicking that ball. I'm not taking that last shot. If I'm down 3 points, I'm still gonna probably go for the onside kick, and I'm gonna tell you why. That 4th and 15 is just as hard as getting the damn onside kick, and the worst part about it is if you're going to take that risk, the reward is going to go in favor of the defense. Like, just think about it from this standpoint. I know this is the most extreme thing possible, but if that's the Ravens defense from 2000 or the Buccaneers defense from 2004, and it's 4th and 15, you really want that kind of pressure? All they're going to do is drop everybody back like the Lions did, okay? And they're going to rush 4. And what you going to do? So I like that they added that rule in there because it kind of brings another element for strategy. But I would sit there and be like, bump that. There's no way I'm taking the 4th and 15. I'm not doing it.
You're choosing the onside kick over 4th and 15 at the 25-yard line?
Yes.
That's interesting. So I like it. I like it personally. I think that it does add excitement to the game, and it is definitely high risk, high reward. Because I think that it is definitely easier to get. It's a much easier thing to get than an onside kick, but it is definitely a hard thing to convert, and the risk is much higher, because if you don't get it, then you're essentially giving it to the other team in their red zone, and then the game's over. But I like it overall. But I mean, let's move on to the next topic, because I think we're all in agreement here. So the next topic of the day is Stafford. Okay, so listen. The NFL Next Gen Stats, they come out with these Next Gen Stats all the time, and they came out with something really, really astonishing and really cool, I think. And they were tracking all of the throws and the coverage on those pass attempts. And they determined that Stafford is ranked the most aggressive quarterback in the entire NFL. And the aggressiveness percentage is based on the percentage of total throws with a defender 1 yard or less away from the target. So we know that Stafford, he's known for those, tight window throws. But, these next-gen stats are proving it. And Stafford topped the list with 23.4% of his pass attempts being those aggressive throws. And he was also the NFL leader in average air yards per completion at 8.3, which means that he was throwing the ball down the field to covered receivers more frequently and better than any other quarterback. So just based off that, what do you think? Is it a surprise to you? Let's start with you, JMO. Is it a surprise to you that these next-gen stats prove and clearly indicate that Stafford is the most aggressive quarterback?
Look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. It's many, many layers to this, but I would say that it lines up with a couple things. One, that his receivers don't get separation, so he has to make those throws. And two, when his receiver does get separation, then you have somebody like Calvin Johnson breaking the world. So if he gets some more receivers that could get like separation, like truly, like if he had a Tyreek Hill or something, I don't even want to imagine what that looked like. So, but I will say it lines up with the thing about Stafford's arm talent. Like, I've always thought he's been a top 5 arm talent or a top 3 arm talent since he's been in the league, regardless of if he's a better quarterback than some other guys, just arm talent. And I like the aggressiveness, but he has to be careful with that, because that aggressiveness caused, some interceptions against the Chargers. But it just lines up with everything that I see, because he makes a lot of crazy throws and in the crazy windows. And I like that it shows a lot about maybe we've been wondering a lot about the offense. And I just think if maybe Bevel is finally the guy for Matthew Stafford that's going to take him to the next level. Because I just keep hearing about how great the offense was last year, and we still didn't even have a running game. So, I like it.
Yeah, that's facts. And you can call me Funk says something that I believe as well. I don't need a stat to tell me that. I know from my eyes, man. Matt Stafford throws into the tiniest windows with precision. I love it. Luke, what are these? So, yeah, these next-gen stats pretty much prove that.
I'm sorry, man. That throw he threw through 4 or 5 defenders. I'm gonna be honest when I say, tell me another quarterback that did that last year. I'll wait.
Yeah. No, he definitely throws into those tight windows. Luke, is there anything that surprises you from these next gen stats proving that Stafford is the most aggressive quarterback?
No, I mean, what it does is it tells me that right now that the people who say Stafford's the problem, they don't understand the challenges that he's facing. And when you don't have the receivers to get you the separation, that's a challenge. When your offensive line can't keep you clean, that's a challenge. When you have no run game, that's a challenge. When you have a head coach who make decisions at times that you question, that's a challenge. But the truth is that he's a really good quarterback, and he's willing to take those shots because he has to. And people say he get fluff stats, but you can't get fluff stats when you throw the ball into coverage and you got to put it in a spot where your guy can get it. So to me, the next gen stats, what they tell me is this. They're telling me that right out the gate that Stafford is one of the elites. And it's not something that you got to use stats to tell you as you see from Funky. It's one of the things that you just need to use your eyes and see. Everybody talks about the Lions' record, and so the majority of the fans believe the record is all Stafford, and it's not.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that with what you just said. But what J-Mo said, I think, was very interesting. He said that it proves that our wide receivers don't get separation. And this is a talking point that every Lions fan wants to bring up, right? Our receivers, they're great. Marvin Jones, Galladay, great receivers. They can jump up and get it. They're really good at that jump ball, get it at the high point and really just beat your defender. And the only issue that they have in their game is that they can't get that separation. Like they can't really get a few yards in between them and a defender. And this definitely proves that as well, because Stafford, he has to throw those tight throws. Otherwise, he's overthrowing it because the defenders are right on the receiver. So really he's put in those situations by the talent around him as well. But okay.
I feel like the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over at least the last 3 seasons, and he has to throw into those windows is impressive. And I do feel like Hockenson gets that separation, and that's why Marvin Hall looked like one of the best Lion players in history last year. He got separation, and Stafford was like, oh my gosh, he got separation. Like 40 yards a catch. That's what happens when a receiver gets separation from Matthew Stafford. 40 yards a catch. Come on.
You know what's funny, though? You know what's funny? Everybody praise Patrick Mahomes, all right? They praise him. Oh, he did a no-look pass. Stafford Ben did that like multiple times. He side-earned it. Stafford Ben side-earned it. Oh, look how he threw the ball and his guy's the only one to get it. Could you imagine if you gave Tyreek Hill to Stafford? Just let me throw and go get it. That's it.
Right.
Could you imagine that? Man, people don't understand.
Tyreek Hill would literally be the undisputed best receiver in the league. He played with Stafford. I'm sorry. It's still a debate right now. He played with Stafford. It's done, bro. It's done. Bro gonna average 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns. It's done, bro.
Because what it does
Imagine if he had Travis Kelce. Like, and then you got Sammy Watkins. Like, oh my gosh. And then you got an O-line, and then you can just give it to Damian Williams and Sean McCoy and Andy Reese calling the plays. Oh, would it be a wonderful world to live in?
See, I'm going to tell you right now, though, J-Mo, there's an element to Kansas City that I love, and it's a reason why. When they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I already knew what time it was. I was like, uh-oh. I'm telling you, a run game is huge. And I'm telling you, Stafford with a run game, y'all already saw it. I posted it multiple times, 10 times. 10 times in his whole career, he's had a 100-yard rusher. That's shameful. That's just shameful. You've been playing for 11 years, 149 games, and if I only had a 100-yard rusher, 10. How many?
It's 12 because he's 10-2. So
I'm sorry, 10-2, so 12, right? 12. So 12 games, and he's only had a 10. I mean, that's terrible. It's just terrible when you look at it. And to me, I'm of the belief that if he can just get some form of help, it's amazing. He just got his first tight end last year. I mean, so it's just these little things that we just be missing, man. It's terrible to say the least, but we got to do better.
Yeah, and I think we will. But I think that this is a problem. This is why Stafford doesn't get the respect he deserves. And nothing proves that more than an article I saw on Bleacher Report by Brian Cass from NFLanalysis.com. And what he did was he ranked the NFC North quarterbacks. And where did he rank Stafford? Third on the list. He ranked him third behind Kirk Cousins. And his reasoning for that really just makes me sick, and it's going to take us into our next topic. His reasoning for ranking Stafford lower than Kirk Cousins was that he claimed that Stafford is injury prone. So I wanted to ask J-Mo this question. J-Mo, do you feel like Stafford is injury prone?
Well, I don't know if it's like, do I feel like he's injury prone or do I feel like he's not injury prone? You're either, I feel like you're either injury prone or you're not. But regardless of that, I don't think he's injury prone. And you just have to look at it. A guy like Kirk Cousins hasn't played, the the amount of consecutive games without getting hurt. So we'll see if he can survive that long. But you got to look at, okay, so how many times has Stafford been getting hit? How many times he's been getting sacked? Since he's entered the league, he's been hit and sacked more than any other quarterback. So you take that into account. What about the O-line? And then you look at, he started 9 straight years of games after playing, 13 games his first 2 years. So, and then when you look at the amount of games that he played and the amount of games he was healthy in, it's like over 80% of the games. So I just don't know what he's talking about. I mean, the Lions, 3rd overall pick for the first time in their history under Stafford because he wasn't healthy. So he's usually healthy. I just don't know what he's talking about. And Aaron Rodgers has had more significant injuries in the recent years than Stafford, and that's my thing. None of these injuries have been significant, but the back and then the finger in 2016.
Yeah, I think that there's something that you're not even calling out, JMO. The amount of times that Stafford gets sacked, I don't know how you can call him injury prone when you look at the amount of times he gets sacked, yet he's remained healthy. Yet he's remained standing up and charging down the field, and he's remained scoring touchdowns and leading this team. I don't understand how anyone can call him injury prone. If you put him behind a decent O-line his whole career, I don't think he's ever getting really significantly injured. Luke, what do you have to say?
He's been sacked and hit more than any other quarterback since he's been in the league.
Oh, I must have missed that. Sorry about that.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, man. Luke, what do you think about Brian Cass's ranking Stafford behind Kirk Cousins, and his reasoning for that is Stafford being injury prone?
I think the ranking is a joke. I think the idea of saying that, Kirk has been more available. Yeah, but if you stack their numbers up side by side, it's not a debate at all. And we've seen Kirk Cousins now with everything. He's had to run the game. He's had it all, and he's had some struggles, really, really bad struggles. So I find it entertaining that the media is disrespectful, and I'm going to drive. This is going to be probably my mantra for the rest of this season. Until we as a fan base change our standard and demand more, this is what we're going to get, this level of disrespect from these people. They're not going to respect us. They laughing on the outside because they feel a certain type of way. So we can't ask for somebody to give us any respect or respect any players on this team until we go out and do something that ain't been done before, like win the division. See, this is what cures everything. Everything that they've said about the Lions, they said about the Saints. Until the Saints went out there and won a division, then won a Super Bowl. Then they became relevant after that because guess what? They was always in it, right? But we got to start changing our standards. And so to me, when I hear this guy claiming, oh, well, here's the thing, I'm putting Kirk Cousins there because this guy is injury prone. I just look at it and I go, well, what time are you talking about? He's been available for majority of his career. So I'm trying to figure out this idea of injury prone and how does he come to the conclusion of Kirk Cousins being better or ranking him ahead. It's ridiculous in my opinion.
No, it's definitely ridiculous. We all agree there, man. Besides Funky Nuts, man, I love you, Funky Nuts, but listen, man, he's not injury prone. He's not. Listen, everybody gets injured in the league. It's a contact sport. Everybody gets hurt. But if you're talking about quarterbacks, look at all the quarterbacks that have played as long as Stafford. You can't say that Stafford is more injured than those players or less available than those players. Like, yeah, he gets some minor, finger injuries, stuff like that, which limit his performance. But, talking about major injuries that have taken him out of games, it's really just been this back injury these past 2 years, and then the shoulder injury in the beginning of his career. I don't see how anyone can really call him injury prone, and he's definitely, even if he is injury prone, he's still better than Kirk Cousins.
Well,
exactly.
But you gotta also look at this part too. If you were to say he was injury prone for the first 2 seasons, okay, that would be true. So let's go to the first 2. After that first 2, he had a whole stretch where, and I know what you're saying, Funky. You're saying by definition and stuff like that, but that would clarify that 90% of the league or more is injury prone. It's about availability and playing through injury that makes you not injury prone. Injury prone is something a little bit different. But for me, was he injury prone in the beginning part of his career? Yes. After the first 2 years, 7 seasons, no, he was good. Then he got injured again. Okay. That's not injury prone. Go and look at John Elway. Go and look at Peyton Manning. Go and look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I think, I missed 2 whole seasons at one point. Nobody's going to call him injury prone. So I just think we are at a point where we have to be realistic about our players and our people. And to me, I'm not ready to sit there and say he's injury prone. Now, I see some of these questions that come in here, and they said, how do we, this one comes from Shay. He says, how can we demand more and make it effective? And Kool-Aid and Cornbread says, how do we demand more? Are you going to stop watching the games? Don't go to the games? Don't buy merch? No. So here's how you make it. You demand more and how you get it. A lot of times y'all go to the games and not y'all, but some people go to the game and they'll boo. That's not gonna get it. That's not gonna get it. Not going to the games is not gonna get it. What's not going to get it is how they see peaks in their numbers. So let's say if the peaks in the first part of the season are really high, but then the first 4 games, the first 4 games they're high. The next 4 they're low. If it dipped like that, that causes a panic for them because that's something that's major happening and they don't know why. Then you got to go and say, okay, go to the next 4 games. Maybe peak back up. What you do is you give them shock moments. And all you do by doing that is you don't miss a bunch of games. You don't do that. When you watch it, you're critical. And you blow up all their feeds and stuff. And you critical. And you tell them like, hey, I don't like this and I don't like that. You blow up their Twitter. You blow up their Facebook. You blow up their YouTube. When you at the games, and they got that little stupid suggestion box, which I don't know why you would put that at any sporting event, but okay, they got that. I don't know. Am I the only one that noticed that stupid box? It's like, any suggestions, put them here. Like, who in the we halfway drunk? Who the hell put anything in there?
But look, it's simple as this. When you have a franchise like ours, if you don't have a suggestion box, they're going to burn down the stadium. So you better have one.
I'm just saying, like, am I the only one that noticed it, though? Is it just me? I feel like I'm the only one that noticed that damn box. But what I'm saying is we have to be able to demand more from our people. And the best way to do it is we don't make excuses for them. Because they're listening. They're listening. They're reading your tweets. They're coming to these channels like ours and other YouTubers and other shows, and they see all that. They live. They have people who they are hired to do nothing but search the media and see what people are saying and bring that data back. Your voice of making excuses is how they are able to keep doing what they're doing because, the fans said, well, we didn't win because of injuries. And what they told you, we didn't win because of injuries. But we got to demand more. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and James Decay, man, this new subscribers to the Real Detroit Lions fans, you joined the Real Army. I appreciate you, but I do gotta I gotta respectfully disagree, bro. How can you say Stafford is fragile, man? Like, who gets sacked as much as Stafford yet stays in the game and has that many consecutive starts and trucks linebackers like he does? Like, I don't see it. I really don't see it, but I respect your opinion, bro.
Yeah, but we gotta let it be known that he's been sacked about 70 more times than Andrew Luck since Andrew Luck entered the league, and Andrew Luck ain't in the league. I'm just saying.
I was arguing one time with a Dak Prescott fan, and he was telling me how many times Dak Prescott got sacked, and Stafford literally that season. I wish I had it up right now because you brought it up. I have to say this. I literally looked up the statistics, and Stafford was sacked more than double the times that Dak was sacked. And like it's hard to even imagine getting sacked that many times. When you're comparing it to other quarterbacks in the league. But listen, let's move on to the next topic. So, there was there was an article that came out recently, and it was saying how players on the Lions are praising Matt Patricia after he got some flack from players like Snacks Harrison and Darius Slay that left the Lions. And it was Amendola and Trey Flowers. So Amendola was saying that, you know, the way I operate as a football player and the product I put on the field, and the way I conduct myself, he was saying that the things that Patricia brings to the table is what he looks for in a coach, and it brings the best out of him. And Trey Flowers said, you know, a very similar thing, pretty much saying that, you know, there are guys that like that kind of style and guys that don't. And obviously those guys that didn't, they were used to a different style of play. Flowers said that he tried to come in and tell them the way that Matt Patricia expects excellence and has a high expectation for their performance in practice, and they weren't having it. So the reason why I bring this up is because those guys, you know, it said it in the article as well, those guys were not on the team in 2018 when Patricia had the most flack put on him, right? From Darius Slay, even Darius Slay, when he was giving the flack to Patricia, he even said that he was much better in 2019. 2018 was a mess. You know, even articles came out back in 2018 saying that Patricia was missing meetings, was mean to the media, stuff like that. And even the media has come out and said he was much better in 2019. So my question here to you guys today is, do you think Matt Patricia will learn from his mistakes and be an overall better coach in year 3, even more than his contributions from 2018 to 2019? Let's start off with you, Luke.
I think he has already learned from his mistakes. When he blew up the defense, that was a good sign for me. I was looking for that. Like, bro, we is not going back into it with this same defense, and you're going to tell me we good. No, you got to find a way to improve this defense and improve it grossly. Just the simple fact that he blew it up was a big step for me. The other part of it was his ability to just say, you know what, I'm going to move on from Paul Pasqualoni. That's learning from your mistakes. You wanted to give the guy who gave you a shot, you gave it to him. Bye. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I give him credit for that. Will he be a better coach? It's not hard to be better when you've been so bad. Like, you can only go up in my eyes. Like, you can't get no worse. There's no worse you can get other than go 0-16. And that can't happen. So for me, will he be a better coach? Yes. Will he learn from it? He's showing signs that he has learned from it. Where I'm going to know that he's learned from those mistakes is when he's doing in-game situations, you know, not punting the ball, knowing that you don't have a chance of getting it back, you know, trying to chew clock with 5 minutes and 51 seconds on the clock, okay? Not scoring one single touchdown. Because I'm convinced, people, I am convinced that Matt Patricia literally goes by Pro Football Focus. I'm convinced. It just doesn't make sense. And to me, he has to be better. He really do. This is why, for me, 9 wins ain't good enough. It's not. And I keep telling people, I said the Rams went from 4-12 to 13-3, division champs, Super Bowl champs. Why not us? So, yes, I think he can improve. I think he's showing signs of maturity and improving right now as we speak. I think he is clearly doing some things that we may not have thought about, but it's working. It's working. And so to me, if he gets worse than what I've seen, like people like James Akai, we got a bet going on. I'm gonna have fun with this bet. Okay. And if he's worse than what I've seen, it's finna be real out here. I'm telling you, I'm finna have a real nice tour on all the people who I made this bet with, because I believe in doing it, and I stand by it. But to me, I don't think he can get no worse. I have a hard time with that. I said the same thing. Like, we can't get no worse. Move it on from Jim Caldwell. I was wrong. I said we're gonna take Isaiah Simmons. I was wrong. I can be wrong about this, but I don't see him getting no worse.
Okay. So basically, all you're saying is we're at the bottom right now. Only way we could climb is up. So by default,
it's up. That's it. By default.
So you're saying no matter what Flowers said, no matter what Amendola said, it didn't even matter because we're just at the bottom right now, and there's the only way to go is up, is what you're saying.
If you gave me $12 million in 2 seasons, you think I'm finna talk bad about you? Who else was calling Danny? Who else was calling Danny Amendola?
Let me just say this, J-Mo. They didn't have to come out and praise him like they did, though. They didn't have to.
But they do, though.
No, they do, though. No, they don't.
I'm gonna tell you why they do, though. I'm gonna tell you why they do. They do because it has been nothing but heat and fire and brimstone tossed at that one person from every direction. And so the first thing and everything that everybody keeps saying is, why are current players on the team not saying anything to take up for them? And then lo and behold, the only people taking up for them are who? Former Lions.
You mean former Patriots?
I mean, former Patriots.
Listen. Still, man. Still, if you paid me, and there's examples of other players doing this, even on the Lions, they could toe the company line, and if they didn't agree with Patricia, they could easily just keep their mouth quiet and be like, "Listen, that's business. You know, they're upset. Blah blah blah." They didn't have to say that. Oh, Patricia demands a high level of excellence, and we know where he's going, and these guys don't like. They didn't have to come out and say all that, because what they pretty much did was go against their former teammates. So, like, they didn't have to go out and do that. So I understand what you're saying, but there definitely is two different types of players. Otherwise, there would be no players going to the Patriots. There are people going to the Patriots because they know that high level of excellence leads to the promised land, leads to championships. So I don't agree that it's just BS, because if we're going to sit here and talk about every week when a player says something bad about Patricia and we believe it, then why aren't we going to talk about when the players talk good about Patricia? Because the guys that left, they have a vesting interest in talking bad about Patricia, because they want the fans to be on their side. They don't want the fans to completely go against them. They don't want teams to not sign them like Snacks Harrison. You know what I'm saying?
Point. Good.
So,
listen. That's a very valid point that I can't. Hold on, J-Mo. Hold on. That's a very valid point that I cannot argue with, and I think that you hit on some very solid point. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that they did it on their form with the Detroit Lions. Like they did it on an official Detroit Lions form. They didn't do it individually on their own platforms like their Instagrams or their Twitter accounts, or hell, just a video. They didn't do that. They did it on a already set form. So that just seems a little convenient to me.
I get it, but in general view, he said he's back. The topic is that, you know, it was pretty much that Danny Amendola and Trey Flowers said some great things about Patricia after the flack that he got from Snacks Harrison and Darius Slay and some other guys that left. So I was asking Luke, you know, what he thought about that. But J-Mo, what do you think about their comments, and do you think that Patricia can improve going into his third year, kind of like how these players are saying he improved from his first year into his second year?
I understand both sides of what you guys are talking about, but see, I'm looking at this whole thing just a little bit differently, because I'm a simple-minded man. I know people was just watching the Jordan documentary winning. To me, the winners like Patricia, and the guys who ain't done much of that, they don't. You know, it's a certain system that he wants to run, because I will add, when, you know, they talked to Matthew Stafford, they asked him about what Slay and Snacks said. And when they asked Stafford, I'm assuming Stafford would have been like, you know, those are my guys. I love them. That's their opinion. He was like, basically, I don't care what they said. They ain't on the team no more. I'm like, for real, Stafford? Like, so I think Patricia definitely will improve. That I know you've been talking about he hasn't reached his ceiling. We haven't seen his ceiling. He's going, whatever his ceiling is, he's going to reach it this year, because I think the team he's going to have the team that he wants. Put it like that. Matt Patricia's going to have the team that he wants. He got the coaches that he wants. He has all of his guys, as we like to say. And with all of his guys, I think he'll be able to go out and win some more games. And I think we'll look more like the team in the first 4 games of the season before, you know, it fell off and we got cheated in Green Bay, and then we fell off after that. I think we'll look more like that team than the team afterwards, once everybody got hurt and we lost our quarterback and we just had players that didn't believe in the system. And with Danny Amendola, see, whenever players say stuff, I look at what they actually say, because you can just say, oh yeah, he's a great coach. It's just about the specifics of what they saying. And Trey Flowers understands what Trisha demands, and he demands excellence, and I like that. I'm not a big fan of the results, but I like at least trying to establish a winning culture, but you have to win to do that. But I think Amendola and those guys, they just speaking the truth. A lot of players just don't like that style, and they not used to winning. And I think this team will turn around under Patricia, because he's going to stop making those little mistakes that lost us games. And I think he's learned from a lot of those mistakes. And I do think our quarterback will be healthy next year, and our offense will help carry him. So since he's being carried by the offense, it'll be easier for him to manage the defense and do the other things he needs to do.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing about Patricia that I wanted to bring up is that, when we got him, the thing that was praised about him the most was his ability to change, his ability to adjust given the situation. And even when he hired Bevel, people asked Bevel, "Oh, are you going to bring that power run game to the Lions? What are you going to do?" And Bevel said, "Listen, I sat down, I talked to Patricia, and the one thing that we, both agreed upon is that it's game to game. We have to adjust given the situation." So, and I mean, like, he came in here in 2018, he tried to run things like the Patriots. It wasn't working. Whatever he was doing, it wasn't working. Right? He didn't mesh with the media. He didn't mesh with the fans. He didn't mesh with the players. And almost across the board, every single one of those factions said that he improved from his first year to his second year. So I do, and I always say it, JMO, you always say that. I say it, listen, we haven't seen his ceiling yet. I can't wait to see what happens. Maybe this year, we don't do well again. And maybe everybody comes out and says, yeah, I mean, he didn't really improve from this past year. And then we will know his ceiling, right? But so far, everybody has said that he's improved vastly from his 2018 season. So I think that there is definitely room to be optimistic.
I've seen improvements in certain aspects of his game. Like this is the thing. I know people just think that I just freaking hate this coach. That's not what's happening here, people. That's not what's happening here. Like, seriously. It's not. Like, let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. He was not brought here to rebuild this team. That wasn't what he was brought here to do. He was brought here to take us past 9-7, to be better than 9-7. He was not brought here to be a bridge to a new program that's going to be a complete rebuild. Now, if you don't believe me, go talk to Glover Quinn, who has said many times that team didn't need to be rebuilt. That team was good with a lot of good players on there. Okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, yes, have I seen certain improvements in certain parts of the game? Yes. But we was killing Caldwell for clock management, and he got poor clock management. I just want y'all to understand that I'm not trying to just shoot down the head coach because I want to, or I just hate the head coach. It's just that I looked at it and I said, he was brought here to take us to the next level. And if you just understand that part of it, he's failing at it. That's it. That's it.
I mean, listen. Nobody's gonna stop. Nobody's gonna blame you. Like, nobody's gonna kill you, Luke, for that opinion, man. We're 3-13 or 3 and whatever. So I get what you're saying. It's not, it's not like you're completely wrong or you're just a pessimist. You just want the Lions to succeed, and you didn't like what you saw last year, bro. I get it. No,
not listen, like Detroit fan, man. Hey, shout out to him, man. Listen, first of all, he got one of the dopest avatar photos. I rock with Rick and Morty, but he said this is a terrible take because. He said, yes, he was brought here to rebuild. Okay. Okay. Let's just say I walk on the dark side with you, Detroit fan, man. Let me say I walk on the dark side with you.
Why is it the dark side?
No. Okay, listen. Let's say I walk on the light side with you. I'll walk on the light side with you. Okay. Can you name me any other team in NFL from the 2000s? You ain't even got to go that far back. From 2000 to 9. That's 20 years. Okay. That brought a head coach in to rebuild from a 9-17. Any coach. And then had the general manager say, I fire said 9-7 head coach who had the winningest percentage of all the coaches in Lions history. Can you tell me why he was brought here to rebuild a 9-17? Now, he says Quinn hated this team under Caldwell, a guy he was forced to start with. The term prima donna was used. Quinn goes to his boy, Patricia, and asks him to rebuild. A 9-17? Listen, if what you saying is true, and I don't know, but I like your perspective, if what you saying is true, then it's all the more reason that if this don't work, that they should fire Quinn too. And that's something that I like Quinn as a GM. But if what you say is true, that's all the more reason, that he should be here.
I just feel like it lines up with what's been going on because, let's be honest, if Bob Quinn meant what he said, Matt Patricia wouldn't be head coach right now. He would have got fired last year. He might have got fired after the first year if Bob Quinn was very serious about it, because he would have been like, you know what, I made a mistake. Let's try to rectify this right now, just like people try to do with Arizona, I think it was. So if he actually believed what he said and he was actually serious about it and he wasn't trying to rebuild, Matt Patricia would not be here. Like that's
not true.
End of the day, that's facts. So
that's not true.
Yeah. What? Nah, I believe that, man. You 9 games in 2 seasons, 9-22, you should be fired. But the fact
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason it's not true is because if he fired Jim Caldwell, somebody that Martha Ford loved, you know when the Fords love you, you ain't going nowhere. You got to really get the buttons pushed. Look how long they kept Matt Millen. Okay? He had to go 0-16 to get fired. Okay? So she loves Jim Caldwell. Now, mind you, I am not a Jim Caldwell fan. Let me be clear, people. I thought he was not a very good head coach, but he did win. So that's another story. He didn't beat nobody worth value. But okay. Now, if he comes out, fire this coach in Jim Caldwell, and then fire Matt Patricia after the first season, he gonna get fired because you essentially fired my winningest coach for your boy who didn't work out. And if he fired him at the end of this year, he was gonna get fired. There was no win-win for him. So he knew that by doing this, once he made that leap and got them to do that, he had to see it through. It was no way he could just fire Dog like that. I don't think that could have happened.
If he meant what he said, he would have did it. Actions speak louder than words, man. Like if he meant what he said, he would be like, Martha, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I got this proven coach. We're gonna run with him. Let's see what we do. And it could have just worked out just like that, you know.
Fair point. Actions do speak louder than words, because he said 9-7 ain't good enough, but 9 or whatever it is. I just think that overall, like I said, it's not that I hate the coach. Y'all don't understand. I want for him to make me eat all type of crow, worms, crickets, and anything else you could think of disgusting. I don't care. If they're winning and I can see that the improvements, cool. But the improvements that I saw were few, far in between. And I was like, it's not enough. And I was even like looking back and watching old games, and I'm like, God, we lost it right here. That's a coaching decision. Oh man, that's a coaching decision. And I put blame on players, and I put blame on coaches, but I do get the point. That's all I'm saying. And I think, like I said, Detroit fan, man, I think you spot on. They are tied to the hip, and I think that at the end of the day, we know what time it is. But to come in and rebuild a 9-7 team, I can't think of nobody who ever did that. I can't. I even tried Googling it. When Google couldn't find it, we got problems. I went to Bing, and Bing told me, get the hell back out of here and go back to Google. So I'm just saying, I can't find nobody who did a rebuild after a 9-7 season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you, man. But I've said it multiple times. I don't have to keep saying it. But listen, man, the ceiling, all right, the ceiling. we saw Caldwell's ceiling.
We need to add some chandeliers for you, man.
I know. I need some chandeliers on this damn ceiling because we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen this damn ceiling. But all right, we're gonna go into the next topic here, and that is this. So listen, we've talked about our secondary a lot. There's been a lot of turnover from the Caldwell era. Obviously, Glover Quinn and Darius Slay are gone. Those were the two key captains of the team, and you know. So now we're looking at a brand new secondary. We got Trufant from Atlanta. We got Amani Oruwariye sitting on the bench, ready to ball out, given if we give him the chance. We got Okudah with the number 3 overall pick. We got Justin Coleman, highest paid slot corner in the league. And obviously, we got Tracy Walker, who's been a baller, Duron Harmon, and Kirsch that we got from the Vikings this offseason as well. So what do you guys think? On paper, how do you guys think our secondary looks? Let's start off with you, JMO.
On paper, assuming health, I always have to say these caveats because health can destroy an entire team, overnight. But assuming health, I think the secondary looks like a top 2 secondary in the division. I think we'll have one of the top 2 secondaries in the division. I don't know who will be the other team it'll be one of the other teams that's in the top 2 running with us. And then when it comes to the NFL, maybe like a top 13 type of secondary, maybe top 10 if Tracy Walker really breaks out. And I'm just looking at the versatility of the players. You got Justin Coleman and you got Amani Oruwariye, so they both could rotate if possible. And Justin Coleman is a very great player. I mean, Okudah is a rookie, and Trufant isn't used to this. I mean, he plays man, but the scheme is a little bit different with Patricia. So we'll see how he works and see if he can stay healthy. But all in all, the secondary looks that it could be like, close to elite, above average, very solid secondary. And it just depends on what the defensive line does at the end of the day. If the defensive line holds up their end of the bargain, then our secondary will be elite. But if they play average, our secondary will just be, above average. But if they play bad, our secondary not gonna look good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But I think we got a lot of good players back there.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna go out and say before I pass it on to you, Luke. Listen, our secondary has to perform. The amount of capital that we have allocated to the secondary is ridiculous. Okay, honestly, our safeties, those are pretty good value because Tracy Walker was a 3rd-round pick, and Deron Harmon, we just traded a 7th-round pick for him. So that's very good value. But when you're looking at the cornerbacks, I don't know if there's a cornerback group in this league that has been invested in more than the Detroit Lions. We have spent big money to get Trufant. He's a number 1 cornerback. Let's not forget that. And we got him on a 2-year deal, and it's kind of a prove-it deal, but it's still significant. And let's not forget, like I said before, Justin Coleman is the highest-paid slot corner. So it's not like we just got him for nothing. And then, of course, we spent the 3rd overall pick on Jeffrey Okudah. Those 3 spots right there, I don't think you can name me in the league a cornerback group that's been invested in more than the Lions. So they have to perform. And on paper, that's an elite group. They look elite. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table this season. And especially with the amount of man coverage we run, I'm expecting them to destroy wide receivers and destroy quarterbacks' dreams. But Luke, what do you think about this? Our secondary as a whole on paper. What do you think it looks like?
I think. Okay, I know everybody was like, so I'm gonna say everybody. I know most people was bummed out about losing Darius Slay, but I have always been a believer that if you can get rid of 1 to get 2 or 3, I would rather have those numbers because yes, there's a good chance that 3 for 3 can be bums, but that's 3 people that you got for that 1 player. So when I look at our secondary on paper, the first thing that jumped out to me was we got young in most spots. We still maintain veteran leadership on the secondary, and we got people who are familiar with the defense. So I was like, okay, good. All that stuff is good. And the only problem is many of those people on paper haven't took a snap yet. The Okudah haven't took a snap. The some of the left haven't really had starting quality time in this system. And to me, I just look at it and I say, paper to me don't matter as much as what happens on the field. But if I were to look at it on paper, I'll go, oh, that's a pretty good damn secondary right there. But I believe secondary is coming hand to hand with pass rush, and we're gonna find out what that do.
Well, yeah, that's why I brought up the pass rush. But you see what JGB said about Jamal Adams?
Wait, hold on, go back. Did somebody say is Tavon Wilson still on the team?
Man, come on, ignore it. Come on, bro. No.
Tavon Wilson ain't on the team.
Anyway, back to Jamal Adams. But I'm willing to give up a lot to get Jamal Adams, though. Where will we
listen, bro. You gonna put up? Listen, okay. Oh my God, listen. First of all, let me start playing with y'all.
Ron Harmon and be like, yeah, you're on the bench now.
No. Listen, no. You don't listen. You don't got to do none of that. They already run a lot of 3 safety sets as it is. You just basically going to say he could play close to the line. Let me tell you something right now. If y'all heard me say this a long time ago, that if the Lions can find a way to shore up the middle of the field, that means from the safety to the middle linebacker to the guy over the ball, the nose tackle or the 3-tech. If you can get that middle of the field shorter from bottom to top, that's the first step to a winning defense. Okay, you add a guy like Jamal Adams to that group, and I could forgive a lot of things that didn't happen this year. I could forgive a whole lot. I promise you, I could, because right off the rip, he's going to improve a lot. You can blitz him. You can have him cover the tight end. That frees up other players that you want to see perform different. If you can find a way to get Jamal Adams, man, I don't care where you put him, man. I'm sick of this idea about where we put him. If they can ball, you don't got to worry about where you put them. Put them on the field. That's where you put them.
Lions gonna be the only team in the NFL running 90% man and 90% 3 safety set.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me, man. That'd
right,
be fine.
You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it.
Yeah, no fly zone up in Detroit right here. But hey, here Xanders says that the Jets might want a first round pick. How much? What are you willing to give up for Jamal Adams, Luke?
That first round pick.
Wow.
I'll give up a first for Jamal Adams.
Wow,
that first round pick.
That's interesting right there.
Listen. Think about this. Stay with me. I'm gonna show y'all how crazy this is. Let's say Deron Hartman comes in here and he balls out. Right? He's on the last year of his contract, so you got to re-sign him. Right? You have to re-sign him. Now you got to go through and you got to say to yourself, okay, if this team is going to be where everybody says it's going to be, we ain't even got to worry about us having a high first round pick, right? Because everybody's telling me that this is the head coach that's going to get us where we need to be. So if that's the case, then I ain't worried about the first round pick, because we ain't going to be picking in the top 10 or 15 anyway.
Go ahead.
This is what I'm looking at. And so all I'm saying is if that's the case and all they want is a first for a perennial safety, I will take that hands down. I mean, this like Jamal Adams to me is like asking for like somebody coming to you and being like, give me a first for Troy Polamalu. Like, he has that much of an impact in the game where I've seen people stay away from him, and I've seen him do things that I'm like, how did he get over there? I just don't understand. Like, that's one of the reasons why all these outlets are disrespected, because they keep saying we don't have one singular athletic monster or perennial player on our team. That's what they're claiming. But they all picked the defense to start off with.
With Adams, this is why I feel like you don't have to side with us. You have your own opinion, but think about it from this perspective. We just spent the 3rd overall pick, was like the most valuable pick besides 2 other picks in the entire draft, on a defensive back. He's everything we want Jeff Okudah to be at a different position already. And we're not gonna have a 3rd overall pick this next season. So I don't think any of the players in the top 10, besides like quarterback, they're not gonna be Jamal Adams. Not what he could do for our defense, but we wouldn't even be picking in the top 10. So if we pick in 17th, 18th, 19th, or 26th or 27th, that guy is not going to be as good as Jamal Adams. Just no way.
What's Jamal Adams' contract looking like?
He on the last year. He on the last year on this deal, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he is. You're right.
So I'm just saying, if I'm going to repay somebody, I'm going to repay something perennial. I'm not repaying.
We pay safeties, but this Patriot system, they pay safeties and cornerbacks.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not paying just like, to me. This is a thing. I'm gonna show y'all how crazy this is. Okay, just people walk with me for a minute. This is why I love y'all, man. First of all, get them likes up, hit that button, go and tell a friend that the pride has come into the congregation. We need that support. We need that love. Okay, listen. I want to put this out here. Just follow me. The Detroit Lions had an opportunity to take a perennial player in Ndamukong Suh, and they took him, and you got an instant reward for it. And every year after that, you had different things for people saying he was dirty and whatever like that. He was our bad guy, but whatever. They call Bill Laimbeer dirty, but guess what? To a Pistons fan who didn't have to worry about their players getting hit by him, we love him. He's our guy. He's our bully. Okay? So, stay with me. Since they let that man leave, we have had Haloti Ngata, who was not in his prime. We have added Damian Snacks Harris, and we have added now Danny Shelton. None of the D tackles that we've added since losing Ndamukong Suh has done what Ndamukong Suh has done. And that is create a fear factor. You had to account for Ndamukong Suh. You didn't have to account for anything since he's gone. So imagine if you plug in a guy like Jamal Adams. You have to account for Jamal Adams. You may not have to account for nobody else, but Jamal Adams, you have to account for. And to me, that's what we need on this defense. I need somebody that can be held accountable. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want your panties in your boxer brief or whatever you wear to get in the bunch, because you got to pay attention to where that person is at. And if that is the case, I'm good with that. I'm good with that because he changes the way that people play.
All right. Hey, I'm with you there, man. Honestly, at this point, we have 30 million still on the books. Listen, man, just get somebody at this point. Let's get a playmaker,
right,
man.
Make a power move, man.
Right.
That's all I've been saying. Like, look, we can. That first round pick is valuable, and we can get a guy. But like, why don't y'all make a power move to just make the football team drastically better? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be something stupid. It could be something that can help the team out. Just go out and get great players. And I know, man, I've been watching Jamal Adams on Twitter for the past year. He is not happy in New York, and he want to change the scenery. This could be a good place, but I don't know about Quinn would jump on something like that.
Well, here's the question.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say this really quick, Real. It probably wouldn't cost you a first, because if a person is making that much noise, you kind of got to move them, right? Just like nobody's going to offer a first to Jacksonville for Ngakoue because he's making too much noise.
Well, they did for Jalen Ramsey, and he was making all that noise, and then they had to pay him.
But you know why they did it for Jalen Ramsey? Because Jalen Ramsey was 25 years old. I know that. Right. I know Jamal Adams is 25 years old as well. But what the difference was with them was Jacksonville was trying to do a fire sale to hurry and get as many picks for this draft as possible, and for future. That's what they were trying to do. The Jets ain't trying to fire sale. They just want the noise gone. That's different.
Well, here's the thing. If you do have to give up a first-round pick, you have to sign him. Like, it would be a joke if we gave up a first-round pick and we only have Jamal Adams for a year. That would be a joke.
No, you're going to sign him. That's what, I remember Lou talking about with Amari Cooper. That's why Amari Cooper got signed to $20 million that he don't deserve, because they gave up a first-round pick for this dude.
Exactly.
If we give up a first-round pick for Jamal Adams, I expect the trade to be like Jamal Adams has been traded to the Detroit Lions along with the such and such amount contract. Like, I expect the contract to be done right there.
Amen. Amen.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But that is an issue though when you do give up your first round pick, because you can say we got Okudah and we're Jamal Adams is what we want Okudah to be, but the fact is we have Okudah on a cheap 4-year rookie contract and we wouldn't have that with Adams. So we give up a first round pick that we wouldn't get next year, and we're getting a guy that we're gonna have to give a monster deal to. So that definitely has to go into consideration as well.
Let me ask you this though. Let's be honest about this.
Definitely though.
If Deron Hartman goes out and have a month of the year, are we still going to pay him a nice contract too?
I mean, not as much as Jamal Adams would make.
No, listen. It's not about is it going to be more than Jamal Adams. It's about, is it going to be a significant amount?
I think it'll be a pretty standard deal. I don't think it'll be a monster contract.
He hasn't gotten a real contract. You don't think he's finna go for the Stars if he come here and ball out? I'm just saying.
Because no, I don't think so. Because like the Patriots, I mean, he got a lot of starting time because of injuries, pretty much, right? And on the Patriots, like this guy is not like a generational talent like Jamal Adams, right?
When they play the Chiefs, he played every snap. So regardless of who was healthy.
Oh, I know he's good. But like, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, let's not pretend like he is Jamal Adams. He's not.
Of course not. But I know. But it would have been better if he said Tracy Walker, because the only thing I got reservations about this whole Jamal Adams theory, if it works, is we're gonna have to pay Tracy Walker regardless. So you're gonna have to pay both of them.
Yeah.
My attitude,
secondary.
My attitude to it is, you're right. We have to pay people. Like, I don't want nobody to be confused about this. We have to pay people. Like, this is just the bottom line of it. But if you have the money to buy, say, a privately owned hoopty or a brand new truck, you probably gonna go with the brand new truck over the hoopty. I'm not saying that the players we have are hoopties. I'm saying that the players that we have, you're gonna have to pay one or the other. You might as well pay the one that gives you the identity. Deron Hartman doesn't give your team an identity. Tracy Walker doesn't give your team an identity. Jamal Adams does.
Luke, where do you get these like metaphors from, bro?
But listen, I've been around too long, bro. I've been around the block a few times. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you have to be able to understand that sometimes you got to spend your money on what you can spend your money on. Like seriously, like don't get me wrong. Like the other side of it could be a car is a car, which is true. But I'm gonna tell you, I remember the first car I ever bought. Quick story, sidebar. Quick story. I bought this car. Listen, I'm not joking. The first car I ever bought, this guy was selling it. He was like, I want $500 for it. You're a good kid. You work your butt off. Give me $500 for the car. I bought the car. I know, no BS, y'all. I drove the car. Got all the way home. I'm excited. You know, my mom looked at me and was like, you bought that car. And I'm like, yeah, this car lit, right? Because it's $500, right? And I'm hyped. I'm living my best life. I promise you. I drove the car to school and back home, and that car never started again. On top of that, when I drove it back home, smoke started filling up in the inside. So I had to drive it back home with my head out the window to get it back home just for it to never cut on again. So the point I'm trying to make is I had more money, but I was trying to get a cheap deal. Okay? And all I'm trying to do is simply this. Listen, get the person who gives you the identity. If I could have got the better car, I would have took the better car. I had the money to get the better car, but I was like, but this the deal. It's $500, and I got to keep the rest of the money I save in the pocket. Shame on me. When we mess around and go and pay Deron Hartman a pretty good chunk of change, and we don't get that consistent production over the seasons, it's a problem. With Jamal Adams, I've seen consistent production over the season, and it's gotten better and better and better. Just saying.
Okay, I hear you, man. And I'm with you, too, man. I want the Lions to make a splash move like that.
Gotta pay to play, man.
Yeah, man. I'm with you guys. Hey, guys.
Wait. Did the general review just say, Luke, you know in 1978 you wasn't saying lit? You get my point, though, man. It's 2020. Don't be clowning me, bro.
Bro, I gotta make a video like imitating you, Luke, and pretending to be you. I'm gonna put your your Luke G picture on there. And
that would be funny. That would be funny. And look, James and Kai agree. Jamal Adams is your answer to the pass rush? Yes. Because here's what Jamal Adams does. It gives you legit. Like, so for example, people always talk about the Steelers having this great defense, but there were years where the Steelers didn't have all their dogs who rushed the passer. They didn't have James Harrison out there or Lamar Woodley, but they had Troy Polamalu, and the pressure still got there. Why? Because quarterbacks were trying to avoid them. There were years where Ed Reed was the only safety out there. There wasn't nobody out there pass rushing, but they was trying to avoid Ed Reed. They changed the way you play the game. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. Hey, guys, we've been on for over an hour. Put your questions in the chat if you got some questions for us. There's 37 people in the chat right now. I know that Glover Quinn should still be live with Okuda. So, hey, if you guys, it's the DB room. So if you guys want to go over there and check them out, just let them know that Luke G and the DSA sent you guys, and for sure. But yeah, because we're definitely not trying to compete with them. We love them, and we love what they're doing, trying to teach people the game. And so yeah, for sure, we're definitely in support of that. But definitely come back and rock with us afterwards. But hey, we've been on for over an hour, so please post your questions in the chat. We weren't answering questions before, so if you posted them earlier on in this stream, please post them again so that we don't miss them. I apologize if I have missed any. But there is one question I still have for you guys, J-Mo and Luke, and that is, what do you guys think the Lions' ceiling is this year, if there even is a ceiling? Let's start off with you, J-Mo.
I mean, it's like, do you reach for the stars or do you try to be realistic in the confines of the question? So, it's like, is there is there a ceiling for us next year? I think there is one. It depends on what you think that is, but I think this team, they could go out and win the Super Bowl. Yes, but I think our ceiling should be being the first team to get the number 1 seed and get a ticket to the NFC Championship game, and then winning that game, and going to the Super Bowl. I think that's what our ceiling could be. But you got to go out there and win. And honestly, saying what I said, I don't know if 12 wins is enough to get that number 1 seed, because I think we can win 12 games at best. I think we'll have some losses, but I think our ceiling doesn't have a limit, but you can have a realm of expectations. So at the end of the day, with my expectations, I need y'all to go 12-4 and win the division and get a bye week.
Okay. Listen, I can't kill that. I think for me, could this team go 13-3 at the Rams? They sure as hell could. But the realistic spirit in me tells me that this team, at best, 8-8. At best.
Oh my God.
8-8.
What?
You know how much crow you're gonna have to eat if they go over
right now, bro. 8-8 at that, man. Okay.
Listen, if they go over 8-8 and they go 9-7, great. But listen, I'm not gonna kill the team for doing better.
So I'm
hold on.
You expect them to win 8 games total, but 9-7 and 10 games ain't good enough. So you don't expect them to win. So no matter what happens, you don't expect them to meet the expectations that's good enough for Patricia to stay around. So it really don't matter how many games they win.
Okay, well, my expectations is they have to win a division. That's my expectation. It starts there. But my attitude is I also got to be realistic. I look at this schedule, and I looked at it over and over and over. And we know that things can happen throughout the year where teams can have injuries and stuff can change and stuff like that. And it can be a different ballpark. I get it. But for me, the realistic side of me right now on paper, looking at it without a snap being down, me not seeing anything, because I can sit there and go 8-8 and we can have injury and then everybody's back to where we would have won more games, but we don't know. We got to go back what it is. I'm just saying right now on paper, I looked at the schedule, I see 8-8 at best, and that's just saying like I can't sit there and go higher than 8 for a guy who's got 9 wins in 2 seasons.
Hold up. Okay, bro. Okay. What was your prediction when we looked at the record? Wasn't it like 7-9 or was it
7-9?
So you're telling me, okay, when you looked at the record, you said this team should go 7-9. But then you're telling me you think the ceiling, which is the absolute highest that you believe that this team will go, is 1 game more than that?
Yes.
So there's no like scenario in your mind where the team goes 9-7.
No, I mean there's all types of scenarios. I'll explain that. There could be a multitude of things. They could be able to sneak up on some teams and stuff like that. But until we take a snap, until I'm able to see the product on the field, yeah, I'm going with that prediction. I want to be able to see. I want to be able to see it. Now, this question from Shay is a perfect one. What if they win the division with 8-8 and 7-9? I'm great. I'm happy. You won a division. I don't care. You did something that has not been done before. That's what I want to see. Because if you win it at 8-8, 7-9, then you more than likely had to beat some of those division teams and to beat some other teams. So my thing is it ain't like we would be the first team to win a division with an 8-8, 7-9 record. I'm just saying that let's be realistic about it. I want this team to do so good, but I want this team to show it. I'm not just finna blindly give them this vote of confidence of you're going 13-3. Nope. No.
That's not what the question's asking though. Nobody's saying do you think. Yeah, it would. Well, no. The ceiling can be a lot different than what you think and expect them to go. What I think and expect them to go.
I gave the ceiling. I said the ceiling is they can be 13-3 like the Rams, but realistically, I said I think they're probably around 8-8. That's what I said.
No, that's not how you said what you said. Trust me. We wouldn't agree with you like that if you said it like that. That's not what you said.
Okay, well, listen. Well, let me clarify. Okay, if I didn't say it like that, let me clarify. I believe the ceiling could be 13-3 like the Rams, but realistically, I think they're 8-8.
Okay, I'm going to go now. So listen, when I look at the schedule, okay, I'm looking at, on paper, I don't know if there's a team that is completely just out of reach. Maybe the Saints, maybe Tampa Bay, okay? But I'm not going to sit there and say there's no way we can't beat Tampa Bay, or there's no way we could beat Tampa Bay. I can't think that in my mind. There's no chance as long as Stafford's healthy, okay, in this offense. And then on top of that, we added players like DeAndre Swift, okay, and hopefully we get that run game finally for Stafford. We have never seen Stafford with a run game, and we've seen him win 11 games. We've seen him, I don't understand how I think that we could beat anybody with a healthy Stafford in a run game. And on paper, that's what we have. And you're right, Luke, we haven't played a snap, so it's unrealistic for us to say that we're definitely going to have a run game. I'm not saying we are, but if you're looking at our ceiling and you're looking at the best case scenario, I'm looking at this team as the defense is going to improve from next year. I'm talking about best case scenario. Defense is going to improve from last year. Stafford's going to be healthy. We're going to have a run game. Bevel's going to be, using play calls like he did last season. Very dynamic play calling that I enjoyed after, years of Jim Bob Cooter and Joe Lombardi. I think with all of those things in synergy and combined, the best case scenario is we can win any game. I see no ceiling on this team, and I don't know. I really don't see a way that you can look at any other team, any team on our schedule, and say, nope, there's no way we could beat those guys. No way. So, in my opinion, there is absolutely no ceiling.
And I'm
not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna kill you on that.
Yeah, that's true. But we say this all the time, but it's always I would say in like 80% of the seasons, it's always a team that's like the next year, it's 14-2 teams and 13-3 teams that weren't nearly as good the year before. The 49ers and the Ravens, the two best teams, objectively, not, Super Bowl caliber. Well, not caliber, but the Super Bowl winners. The two best teams objectively were the Ravens and the 49ers. And I know the Ravens won the division, but they both were not the same teams. They weren't first 14-win teams the year before. So, some teams have that big jump. I mean, we seen Dallas go 8-8, get Ezekiel Elliott, and now they, won 13 games. So it is possible if DeAndre Swift comes in here and Jonah Jackson is nasty and Stenberg is big nasty, then, we can handle teams and we would be able to run the ball. But no, if we had a whole season of a run game, you can't convince me we not winning 12 games. I'm just being honest.
All right.
Listen, I can't kill anything y'all saying. I'm telling y'all. And listen, as much as I would love to just create an unnecessary debate, I can't do it because guess what? I can't kill it. It is absolutely a show me year, right? This is like you gotta show me. It's the same thing that the standard that the Lions put up for themselves. Show me, and for me. If it boils down to it being a show me, it is a show me. Now, Harry Zander says folks have to flooding improve a little bit over there. I don't know anything about no flooding. In my hood, we ain't had no flooding.
There was a really bad flood.
Hold on. Harry Zanders has a question. Will Austin Bryant play as defensive tackle or edge or both?
Well, wait. You skipped over some questions for that one.
No, I went all the way to I went all the way up. That's the first question.
No, you skipped over the general review question. No, he had a good one. What you got to have on that plate when you go to the cookout? You got to go to that.
I mean, yeah.
I wasn't gonna miss it, Luke. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can't miss that. I mean, first of all, I don't eat pork, but you got to have macaroni and cheese. You got that. It's got to start there.
Is that a religious reason you don't eat pork, or you just don't like it?
You know what, man? I did an experiment. It didn't go too well. I can't get the vision out of my head. I just can't. I can't get it out of my head. I did this experiment in school where they was trying to show the different animals who have the closest skin to human beings, and it was a pig, and it just I couldn't get it. They literally burned a cadaver and then burned a portrait, and it smelled the same. I can't get that smell out my nose. It just freaks me out, man. So I was like, I can't do it.
Well, listen, I'm glad I never had that experience because listen, my favorite is baby back ribs, man. Oh my God. Oh man.
Oh man.
Ain't nobody gonna disagree with you there. You know, it could be beef, it could be pork, it could be whatever you like, man.
But I'm just saying, you got to start with macaroni and cheese. You have to, and it got to be some baked beans on there.
Listen, we got to do a DSA cookout. That's what we need to do.
Yep. Support. The
question pandemic is over. We're gonna have some fun. But back to Harry Sanders' question, man.
Right, my bad. I had to get that one in, man. We can't be leaving that out. That's a good question that he put up there, man. I ain't leaving that out there.
Right. Yeah, Harry Sanders says, will Austin Bryant play as a DT or edge or both? What do you guys think?
Edge, outside linebacker, like Jack linebacker. I think they'll put him in passing downs at the D tackle position, but majority of the time he's going to be an edge rusher. He's going to be trying to come around the corner. Unless he gain more weight, I don't see them doing this experiment of him at DT too often.
Yeah, I only think injuries are the only thing that could cause him to play DT. I don't think he has the weight for it. And I know he did some of that at Clemson, but you know, this the big league, this the big boys. I don't think he's a defensive tackle. So yeah, I think unless there was a lot of injuries like hand and you know some other guys went down or something, that's the only way I could see putting him there because it would be an emergency. And even then, that would probably be rare.
Yeah, Shad 216 Jeffs. He said I watched this video earlier on Quality TV. That's a YouTube channel. He said the Lions shouldn't be the only team that has to play a perfect game just to avoid being screwed. Listen, man, that must have been on my recommendations too because I watched that earlier. I was dying laughing. This guy had all the ways that the Lions got screwed, and like you know he was trying to debate the fact that people say, oh, like you got to play to be better than that and defeat the refs and stuff like that. And he was saying that's BS. And I just wanted to shout that out because I literally watched that video this morning and. It is so funny, man. He was like, F Matt Millen. He just kept saying it, man. He's so funny. But
what is it called? Quality TV? I gotta go check that out.
I was about to say I need to go see that.
Oh, it was such a good video. I think it was posted like a few months ago, but I don't know why it was in my recommendations today. And clearly it was in yours too, Shad. That's so funny.
He said F Matt Millen. Okay.
It was so funny, man. But anyway, you guys see any questions posted up? I'm trying to find some. Oh, here's one right here. I want Patricia to win, but I hate his defensive philosophy. It holds players back from making plays. What do you guys think? Luke?
I agree. That's it. Oh my God, I agree. You know, I 100% agree because to me, listen. I just went back and I just looked at players before he got there, and I looked at the defenses, even on New England. And if y'all don't know, the Hood Cam, aka shout out to Cam, aka the Hood Cam, man, that's my guy. He's a Patriots fan. He's also a Lions fan, but he's a Patriots fan. And he will tell you some things about Matt Patricia that he was like, look, this is why they didn't have a problem with him leaving. You see, when they was getting ready to lose Josh McDaniels, they sabotaged it. Josh McDaniels was finna be the head coach to the Colts, and then somehow backed out of being the head coach to stay an offensive coordinator.
Well, so
I'm just saying. But that lets you know.
Brady said main reason why he left because he's sick of Josh McDaniels BS. So guess what? That didn't really work out for him, did it?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But I'm just saying, I do think it holds him back.
Listen, I'm at the point where I think, if a comment's like, man, I think Matt Patricia's feet smell, Luke's going to be like, I know, man, I've been telling people.
No. But listen, believe it or not, like I'm telling you, believe it or not, when Matt Patricia, when he first came to the Lions, I was like skeptical. Like I was like, I don't see how he's going to lead this team. And I saw them preseason games, and I'm like, where's preseason? And then I saw that first game to get the Jets, and I'm like, why wasn't Grover Quinn out there? I didn't understand this. And then I saw that second game, and I'm like, where the hell is Grover Quinn? It was just this weirdness where it wasn't like he was taking people out, and I'm like, for what? In favor of his guys. quote unquote, the Tavon Wilsons. Like, think about this. He took out Glover Quinn in favor of Tavon Wilson. Like, that's like going from like Holly Berry to Beetlejuice. It don't make sense. Like, why are you doing this? So I'm just saying, I want him to be successful. I'm never going to root for our team to suck. I want them to be successful. And the more successful they are, the more fun it is. I'm having fun now, man. Like, y'all don't even realize it, but listen, it could have been just me, J-Mo, and Real in here, and I'd be having fun because I love talking football. But I'm not just out here purposely like, yeah, man, Patricia got high blood pressure. Woohoo! I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, bro. I want him to be successful.
All I'll say is not everyone feels that way about Patricia, and some people support him. But I'll say this: when you go 3-12-1, you can't get mad if people want to be angry with a coach. You know what I'm saying? You won 3 games, so it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Hey, Harry Sanders posted another good question. So, guys, by the way, listen, I know I'm slow to answer these. I know I'm really behind on the chat right now, but hey, post your questions in there. We're gonna get to them. So Harry Sanders says Lions 14-2, but Pampers finishes 15-1 and wins divisions. Pampers, that's the Packers. Would you guys be surprised? So would you guys be surprised if we went 14-2 and still lost the division?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know why it's like this, but every time it's like, besides 1991, whenever the Lions have a great season, so does the Packers. When we lost the division in 2014, the Packers were 15-1, and we were 11-5. Like, usually 11-5 should be able to be enough. So I guarantee you, like, the Lions can be 15-1, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers were 16-0. Because the league just hates us like that. So I would not be surprised if the Packers went 15-1. That one loss was to us, of course, and we still lost the division. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest.
Right. Yeah, no. I would be surprised if we went 14-2.
15-1. And still, like, that would be a first. That has to be a first in NFL history. For you to get a 14-2 team and a 15-1 team, and then I would be shocked. I would be shocked. So I don't know. I would be absolutely shocked. That's hard for me right there. I just want that division win. That division win guarantees that we didn't back our way in. We earned that.
Right.
That's what I want. I want that division win. So.
No.
I mean, you can't be disappointed in the team though if they go 14-2 and lose the division. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? You know,
what's funny? Green Bay went 13-3 last year, and they didn't do nothing, right? But it was, I think it was the Dallas Cowboys that went 13-3, and they had a first round bye, and they lost to the Packers. See, if you go 14-2, my standard line just go up. You definitely can't take an L in the first playoff game because you probably gonna have a home playoff game. So you definitely take an L there. I'm just saying, I'm about moving those standards up. It's time to move those standards up and get this thing popping. That's what I'm saying. All this mediocrity stuff is over with. I'm done with that. I don't want to be a mediocre fan. I don't want to be a mediocre YouTuber. I don't want to be mediocre nothing. I take all suggestions. I take all the criticism. I love every bit of it. I love when y'all disagree with me. But I'm just saying, if they go 14-2 and then you lose the first playoff game that we get home, who happy about that?
Right. Oh, man. I would never be able to defend Stafford if he did that. Like, I would be done, bro. Like, there's no way. I mean, well, the Ravens just did it, but
right,
Derrick Henry. And so,
yeah, let me answer this one. So you can call me Funk. George Morgan. He says, if Stafford isn't injury prone, why say anything about his health at all? To me, it would need to be said. Hey, listen, man, if he's injured again this year, then you definitely have a good argument that he's injury prone. Because, I mean, it's 3 injuries, 3 back-to-back years. But, I mean, look, he re-aggravated his back last year. It's definitely possible to happen again, especially, like, if we keep giving up that many sacks. Like, that's the problem. So, hey, I'm not gonna lie and say, like, I wouldn't be a good argument to say he's injury prone if he's injured for a third year in a row, but like, man, like you can't call him injury prone when he was almost like he was almost going to break the record for like most consecutive games, and then he gets hurt 1 year, and then he has like the same aggravated injury the second year. Like, I don't know, that's tough. But I see your point though. I'm trying to find more questions, guys. So let me know if you guys see some. Oh, Funky Nuts says, no bacon? Luke, you don't even eat bacon?
If it's turkey or chicken, I will.
You can eat beef bacon, though. Beef bacon is fire. So
I mean, if it's turkey or chicken bacon, I will. But
yeah, Chris says, no wonder why Luke is so fiery. He never had bacon in his life.
Listen, I used to eat pork, and then that happened, and I was like, nope, can't do it. Nope, can't. I couldn't get that. I can smell it right now. Like, I'm not even BSing you. I can smell it right now. It's not cool.
I think that, you know, you saw Patricia eating bacon, and that's where your hate comes from.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to Matt Patricia, this is my thing. The thing that made me not like Jim Caldwell was his clock management. Patricia had those same problems. I didn't like Jim Caldwell's in-game decision when it came time to crunch time. Matt Patricia had those same problems. I didn't like how Jim Caldwell just didn't seem to have command of the sideline. When he talked to his players, they just seemed like they was over there playing Tetris or something. I feel like the same thing happens with Matt Patricia. Like, he talks to his players and they just be like, what up? You know? And so to me, I'm rooting for them to be successful. I'm rooting for him to be the head coach. I'm rooting for him to be successful. But I've seen too many times, too often, good teams full of talent with poor coaching who missed their opportunity because they stuck with that coach for too long and they didn't end up going nowhere. Plus, like I said, he wasn't brought here for a rebuild job. He was brought here to get us past 9-7, to get us a division win.
No, look, man, I just gotta get on you. You know what I mean? We just gotta mess with each other, have some fun.
Man, have a little fun. Have a little fun. Whatever you throw out there, I'm throwing it back. Don't worry about it. I got you. Let's get it.
That's what we want, man. Hey, JMO, you had a question, didn't you?
Yeah. So I know. Well, I don't know if everybody's seen when Jared Davis did his little interview with the media. And a lot of fans have been hard on Jared Davis. And in the interview, he's talking about things he needs to improve on, like, you know, saying he needs to improve on his coverage and his technique and things like that. And my question to you guys is, and the people in the chat, do you think Jared Davis knows what position he's in right now in the NFL, in this team, and knowing his weaknesses and faults? And if he knows that, will he be able to be better this year? Because last year with that ankle injury, it just never worked out. And I think Jared Davis, he's a guy, he's a leader. He's a guy that has a lot of heart and tries a lot. So maybe he knows his problems and is just trying to be better because he's pretty self-aware. And, of course, Lions fans like to make fun of him. Yeah, you need to work on your coverage. So, but I think it's a little bit deeper than
that. I put it like this. When you are a rookie, and I don't care what you're a rookie of, like you can take it to sex, school, whatever, and I'll keep it clean and go to school. That first time you go to any new school, there's a sense of uncomfortability. It's not that same level of confidence. And the way I look at Jared Davis is when he was brought here for Jim Caldwell. He knew that he had the support and the backing of that head coach. It's also one of the reasons that the Tua family didn't want the Lions to take Tua, because they was like, it's too much uncertainty with the head coach, and we do not want him to be in a situation where they draft him, but the new head coach come in and be like, well, you ain't my guy. I want this guy. So I get it. When I look at Jared Davis, I think he went from a coach who had his best interests at heart and was doing everything in his power to put him in good positions to be good. And when he got with the new head coach was looking like, look, either you do this or you don't, and you out of here. And the confidence probably took a hit. And now he's trying to figure out, okay, am I doing this right? But I want to do this, and I can't do that. And I think that's why you're seeing him not be as good as he is right now. Plus, I think he's out of position. From the very first time I saw him playing under Caldwell, I was like, he's an outside linebacker, because his range is so stupid. And I saw where he can rush the passer. So I'm like, he's an outside linebacker, and they want him in the inside. More power to him. But they did the same thing with Ernie Sims, took him from outside to inside, and Ernie Sims was very suspect inside. When they put him back outside, I was like, praise the Lord, Saints, because finally I'm back to seeing Ernie Sims. So to me, I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Jared Davis definitely knows the position he is in right now. Because the fan base will let him know if he does. If you go on Twitter or anywhere, the fan base is just destroying Jared Davis, acting like he's complete trash, and he's not, you know. So like, and they call out his faults every second, you know, like he you know, over like commits to tackles and doesn't wrap up, and he shoots past people and stuff like that. Like, look, I think if he wasn't injured in the beginning of the season, we would have had a much different Jared Davis. And I also think that if Snacks Harrison was actually Snacks Harrison this season and wasn't some, you know, decoy pretending to be Snacks Harrison, then I think that Jared Davis would also be in a much better position. So I'm hoping that he can, you know, have that bounce back, have that breakout season. And I think that he can. I think that he's going to be a great linebacker in this league one day. And hopefully that's still with the Lions.
I mean, feel like the fans, they act as if he didn't have the best season of his career in year 2. Like the fans act as if he's been trash every single year of his career. His first year, he was a solid rookie, and he was our best linebacker. I'm not saying like he was amazing, just kind of how like Jelani Tavai was last year. Second year, he had 10 quarterback hits, 6 sacks, interception. He was much better, over 100-something tackles. Was the top tackles in the league. He was a much better player, and he just didn't have a good year. So he knows what he has to do. And he knows they done added a lot of linebackers in that linebacker room. So he got to fight for his job and his snaps.
Well, I'll put it like this. I don't know when I do know when it happened. Ever since Ezekiel Elliott cooked Jared Davis up the sideline, everybody said he can't cover. But I have went back and watched a lot of Jared Davis, and I was like, his coverage ain't really that bad. You can't ask nobody to cover that long. Not even Deion Sanders can cover as long as if they be asking him to cover. It's not like it's always that bad. But ever since that one play with Ezekiel Elliott, that's where it got ripped. Did he put in here? Harry Sanders is clowning today. If y'all didn't know, Harry Sanders recently got engaged, so shout out to him. He says, "What's more powerful, a hippo or a rhino?" Depends on how you want to look at it. If you're talking about skin, a rhino skin is tougher. If you're talking about sheer power, the hippo, people think hippos are fat. That's all muscle. That thing is not fat. That's muscle. They can snap Crocs in half. Like that's real. But just saying, I like the question though. Any other questions y'all want to throw in there before we get out of here? Because want to make sure we have some good old fun today.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some questions. I'm really behind on the chat right now.
Yeah, Jay in the building. What's good, Nomis? He says, year 1, Jared Davis was the only linebacker we had. Yeah, basically. James McKay said Jared Davis is Kyle Van Noy in another system. I think once he leaves the Lions, he's going to excel on another team. Definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I don't care who it is. Listen, I'm gonna say this, and then I know somebody go, bro, that's not true. There's probably about 2% of players that are just 100% dogs. All the rest of them are system players. Okay, they're all system players. Majority of the Hall of Famers you see were in a system, and the older ones didn't even really have no excitement. It was just simply go get them. Charles Haley said that he didn't know what they were talking about in none of the play that they talked about. All he knew is when the ball was snapped, get the quarterback. Lawrence Taylor said out of his own mouth that majority of the time the coach would call something and he just did the total opposite because he was like, if I made the play, the coach wasn't going to be mad. There's system guys, and then there are those 2% of special guys. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna pop Luke Bubble. Most turkey or chicken bacon has diluted pig fat injected in it. What? Not the one I buy.
Looks like it better not. I don't better not see
No, listen. Believe it or not, I'm going to show you how crazy it is. I do read the label, and and sometimes I make my own because it's easy. I thought it was going to be hard to make, but I make my own. So, but yeah, he thought so. They put some. No, they don't. Chris out here clowning. It's bacon. You sound like me. You used to sound like everybody in my family, man. They be on my head like, you don't want no ribs. I'm like, no, I'm good. I won't eat no meat today. I can't do it. Let's see.
There's almost 40 in the chat. There's about 30 likes. If you could get those to like 35, that'd be awesome, guys. That'd be really good.
That's right. Get them up there. Get them up there.
We pushing for 40. We ain't pushing for 35 out here. Let's get to 40 out here.
Yeah.
They got a question. They got a question from Steve Vo. He said, "Was that what JD had last year?" He talking to you, J-Mo, about it.
What do you mean? He talking about his ankle injury?
No, those stats you was throwing out there.
Oh, no, that was 2018 with Matt Patricia, 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss, interception, over 100 tackles. Yeah, that's what he did with Matt Patricia in his first year. He was really good.
Detroit Fan Man says, who y'all think biggest surprise Lion cut this year? Looking for hot takes. I already said mine before, and I know it was a take that people didn't like. But honestly, I saw if I could do one on offense, I could do one on defense. On defense, I think the cut that may throw people off could be Romeo Okor. I think he's a guy that you can see mess around and get cut, even though they brought his brother there. That would be brutal. And on offense, I think out of the surprise cuts that you can possibly see is Taylor Decker. That's mine.
On offense, I'm gonna say I'm laughing because Bob Quinn will get killed if he does this, but I'm gonna say Jesse James, Mr. Milk Carton.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Like, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Jesse James is a good football player, but I don't know what happened to him, and I don't know if it's his fault or it's the coach's fault. All I know is, Jesse James, you was on a milk carton, bro. I thought, if I could call out an APB for you or something, because I just couldn't find you. I didn't even know he existed anymore.
Well,
but I can see the Lions cutting him and like putting up Isaac Nauta and be like, Isaac Nauta, we gonna give you these keys right here, and just we don't have to pay Jesse James no more. Let's get him up out of here.
Bro.
On defense, I would say Reggie Ragland.
I mean, that's not surprising at all. They didn't even give him a real contract to be committing to him like that. So, but I get your point. I would say this. The thing with Jesse James stood out to me big time. I was watching a video from that dude. If you ain't checked out that dude's channel, he's a Lion guy. He don't post as much, but he's there. So shout out to that dude. He was talking about it, and he was talking about we've been getting on man Patricia about the tight ends not being used when we should be getting on Darrell Bevel. And I think that's why you didn't see Jesse James. The only reason I didn't get on Darrell Bevel is because it was his first year. But if the tight ends don't get used this year, watch me. I'm gonna get real patty. I promise you. Watch me, because I'm gonna be on some more. This is not acceptable. You gotta find a way to utilize the weapons that you have.
This is my problem. I think that the surprise one would be Jesse James as well, but that would be the dumbest move ever. So I hope it doesn't happen. But the more I'm going on,
bro, we need your take. We need your salary cap take. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen.
That's 8.266 million in cap hit. And
that's dead cap. And if you just keep him on the team, it's 5.2 million. So
right,
just keep him on the team and put him on IR.
Like you can't cut him. The only year that they can cut him and really make any type of gain is 2022.
Right.
That's it. So that's the earliest they can do it. But outside of that, you're going to give up 8.2 mil to get back 2.9. It don't make sense. I wouldn't do it, but whatever.
No, that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. Other than that, I really don't have a big surprise one. You said Taylor Decker, Luke. I would be shocked. Like, what? Why would they do that? Why would they? I guess unless they had somebody lined up, but I don't see that happening this late in free agency.
Here's why I can see that being a surprise one. Okay, here's why. If you look at it, Taylor Decker's on the last year of his deal, right? And we have to have a point where they're going to cut players to get to a 53-man roster. They've already shown that they are willing to give up certain people. Big V can play left tackle. So if somebody that they value become available at right tackle, or better yet, somebody that they already have on the roster that they like can play the right tackle, I can see them moving Big V over to the left tackle because he's done it before and saying, hey, we'll cut our losses with Taylor Decker and go with this guy because this improves our line. I can see them doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I would agree with Real that it would be shocking, but we got like 10 offensive linemen on the team. Like, it could happen because let's not forget about Bo Benchois. So let's say Bo Benchois could be a guard and he shows up. Then you got Jonah at the other guard with Stenberg bracking up either one. Then when you put Big B at left tackle, you still got guys like Tyrell Crosby. We don't think much of him. A lot of people don't think much of him, but what if he actually pans out like he was when we drafted him? Now you put Crosby or somebody else at right tackle and you don't have to pay Decker, but I just don't think that would happen, and I don't know how comfortable I am with Big V at left tackle.
I would have a real problem with that because at that point, the only reason why you're cutting Decker is because you want to save money. And what are you saving the money for? So, like, I get that you're saying we have a lot of O linemen, but like, wouldn't it be better to have Taylor Decker and those O linemen? You know what I mean? Otherwise, what are we doing? If we're not improving that position, then you're just saving money. And what are you saving all this damn money for? What do we need all this damn money for?
Well, that's my thing. I was thinking that we would do it because he would be better. And I wasn't even thinking about the money. I'm thinking they're going to upgrade. Like, they think Big V would be better at left tackle.
Well, let him play left tackle and then just have Taylor Decker as depth at that point. Like, I don't see why we.
Now let me go back. Let me correct that because now that I looked at his contract, although I don't think this means nothing to them because they do have money to blow, they would be absolutely. It's a $10.3 million hit with no money saved if you cut him.
No, yeah, he ain't getting cut
because they picked up his 5th-year option. So it looks like that's guaranteed $10,350,000. That's you cut it if you want to. I mean, but I can see them doing some crazy stuff like that because they've taken like right now. If you look at the Detroit Lions dead money, it's like, bro, we up there. We're ranked up there in the dead money right now.
Mm-hmm. And we weren't in the beginning of the offseason. So what? Yeah, I don't know, but. That's what happens when you cut Snacks Harrison and whatever. I mean, but anyway, James the Case has a good one. Kerryon Johnson, that would be a surprise. And with Swift coming in there, I could see it. I could see it possibly happening. I'd be very disappointed, but that would be a big surprise.
See, I'm gonna take your approach. To me, that'd be extremely stupid. And this is
why. It would.
I agree.
Unless you're trading him for a 2nd-round pick. You don't have to pay Kerryon until after this year. So if you want to get rid of him, you might as well use him up this year and then get rid of him if that's what you wanted to do. But unless you're trading for a 2nd-round pick, like that's just dumb because you're not even paying him yet.
Right. And you can make the argument like, oh, we have a bunch of running backs, but it's like, so what?
No, we don't.
Like, why would not have just a bunch of running backs and Kerryon?
We got two high caliber running backs in Kerryon and Swift. Everybody else is chopped liver. I'm sorry to say it like that.
Bro, what do you mean? What about New Mexico? What about New Mexico?
You don't stop this noise. I see. Look, Real.
I forgot all about Huntley, but put it like this: maybe those guys could be something, but I know that Kerryon and Swift are good running backs. I mean, Swift still has to play in the NFL, but Kerryon has shown me he's been a great running back since he got in the league. He just has some injury problems. But him and Swift are top-tier guys, and they more proven than Huntley and Ty Johnson and Scarborough. Like, I'm just, no.
Real. We gotta answer that question from Go Lions. He says, I think he's trying to say how many dogs are on our team.
Yeah, no.
I like that. I like that question because if you go to the offense, I can give you one.
I got two,
three. No, I got more than 3. I got 4. I got 4. I got 4 on offense. Stafford, Kenny Galladay, TJ Hawkinson, Frank Ragnow. Defense, I got none. This defense got to show me who the dog is. I ain't seen the dog on the defense yet. Who the dog on the defense?
Well, I disagree
Tracy
with
Walker, my boy Tracy Walker.
Yeah, he a dog, all right. Yeah.
No, I would say on offense, I would say Stafford, Kenny Galladay, and Ragnow. And then on defense, I'm saying Tracy Walker, and I'm saying Jamie Collins for sure.
Oh yeah,
I can't say Jamie Collins because Jamie Collins in New England
is definitely a dog.
Jamie Collins in New England is a dog.
I have to agree to disagree on that one.
Listen, listen. We can agree to disagree, but I'm just saying Jamie Collins in New England, dog. Outside of New England, I don't know what he was. I feel you on that. He was Bigfoot.
See, this is my thing though. We said all this stuff about Trey Flowers before you got here. Well, he hadn't played in our system, and he did all of that in New England. He came over here, and he was the same guy. So I'm just gonna assume for our system, Jamie Collins is gonna be the same guy.
I can't kill nothing y'all saying today, man. Listen, I'm loving this. I can't kill it. The show got me wondering, but I can't kill it.
I do want to say though, the fact that we can't name like 10 or 15 dogs is a problem. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I can get it. I totally get it. Again, if you have not hit that like button, please do so. If you have not hit that subscribe button, please do so. If you went over to support the DB room and then came back, shout out to you. Salute, man. That's real commitment because that's a lot of viewership in that time. So I appreciate that. And just saying, man, this is man. I'm loving this, man. Y'all got to keep this same energy coming every week, man. We need this.
Oh yeah. Love the chat. They've been blowing up. We had a video, me and Andrew, and the chat was just going nuts. It was awesome. So we appreciate all you guys. We've been on for almost 2 hours now. It's been a great time. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of high energy, just debates and topics. It's been really fun. So, just got to say we appreciate all you guys, and we're going to go on to our, closing statements of the day. Why don't we start off with you, J-Mo?
I want to say shout out to all of the people in the chat. Shout out to all of my DSA members, and shout out to all of the media with all of the disrespect. I need more disrespect. I need higher levels of disrespect because I'll tell you something. If the fans don't demand better and have a higher standard, the players looking at all them articles will. So I need y'all to ratchet up. I need y'all to start saying Tracy Walker and Jamie Collins ain't going to do nothing. I need all the hate so we can turn that into something on them and, prove them wrong. On my channel, if you want to hear about Stafford's new interviews or if we should sign Kenny Galladay. And as I always say, sign Kenny Galladay before I lose my mind. But I have to say, man, I'm really, really proud of what we're trying to build. Wow.
You okay?
No, man, I was about to cough and then it stopped. So I was like, wait, okay, my fault. Like I said, I'm really proud of what we're trying to build. And all we got to do is make that one power move by Quinn, get on the phone and make a move for Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I thought you were choking up and getting teary-eyed on us, man.
I did too. I was like, did he just go full Chad Johnson? He went full Chad Johnson on me.
No, man, I had to cough and then it just stopped midway and I'm like, what's going on, man?
Yeah. I'm going to say my closing remarks, then I'll pass it on to you, Luke, because I like when you end it with the positive quote. But first, I want to say, Harry Xander is saying, any idea which team Stafford hasn't beaten yet? No, I don't. I'd really have to look into that.
It's the Titans.
Yeah, that's definitely one. Before. Yeah, I don't know. I bet you it's a few AFC teams because you only face those guys.
I probably could tell you the Titans. I don't think he's beat the Steelers. Those two
Harry
teams.
Xanders earlier said the Ravens were one of them. So, yeah, I definitely believe that. I'm not sure who else, but, that's something.
Quarterbacks that have beaten every team. Only Tom Brady and Drew Brees, I think, have beaten every team.
Yeah. And Stafford will get there. He's just, got to be in the league long enough to do it and play enough games. And then you face those guys multiple times and you beat them maybe once or twice. So, yeah. But anyway, I appreciate everything from you guys in the chat being really active, throwing in those questions. You guys have been awesome. We've consistently had 30 to 40 people in the chat the whole night. So it's been really great. Love you guys. I love the support. And I appreciate everybody in the DSA. Definitely subscribe to everybody in the DSA. Links are in the description. So click on that. Also visit the website if you haven't already. It's really cool. It has like our schedules, has our Twitter feeds, has everything. It's really, really awesome. But yeah. All right. I'm going to kick it over to you, Luke. What's your final words for the chat?
Hey, listen, first of all, appreciate all of y'all for being here. This is what it's about. The community and being able to have fun talking sports. This is exactly what I want. This is exactly what we should be doing. This is how it's supposed to be. Now, I had to think long and hard about this one, and I happened to stumble upon it again, people. This is what happened when you watch a little bit too much TV. Today's quote comes from one of my favorite characters of all time. He has been a thorn in Batman's butt for years. That's right, I am talking about the Joker. See, this is the funny thing about it. We often see bad guys as just simply that, bad guys, people who cannot provide anything of moral sensibility. But you know what he said that drew my attention in? He says, everyone was laughing at me for being different. I laughed at them for being the same. And I sat there for a moment and I said to myself, what is he really trying to convey there? And what he was trying to convey there is even in the most small forms there is to the biggest forms, if you stand out alone bright. It's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have a different view. It's okay if you like something that somebody else don't like. That's fine. The purpose of it is to be comfortable in your own skin. Which brings me to the second part of this quote that he throws in there. Why so serious? Which tells me that at the end of the day, regardless of what a person say about you, how they criticize you, how they come at you, how they try to build you up to break you down, or break you down to build you up, however that is, you don't have to take it so serious. You don't have to take it so personal because you're comfortable in your own skin. And that, to me, is the ultimate message you can get from any bad guy who's just trying to show you that there's a little good in all of us. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that bell because we're going to be dropping these videos and going live doing these roundtables. And as always, I leave you with this great piece of advice. Don't be no chump. Please do your research.